Chapter 65. In the center of Citadel, all of the relevant people are gathered in a very large room. From Rimuru, Velgrind, Lei and her angels, Agni and Runa, the primordials with their arcanas, Jahil, and Lilith were all inside, with the higher ranked ones sitting down and the rest standing behind their respective places. So far, we managed to kill how many of those snakes? Rimuru leaned on his right hand which was placed above the table, his demeanor was serious and the surrounding tense. Lei who was beside him stood up. 6 confirmed, Zejans, Ultimas, Carreras, mine, Agnis, and Rimuru-sama's opponents were serpents that were killed. We have not seen the others, but we could speculate the rest of the enemy that were powerful to be the rest of the serpents. Carrera and Ultima had a smirk plastered on their faces as they looked at both Diablo and Testarossa, as the two had their enemies escape. If only you two could have killed yours as well, Ultima commented with a mocking tone, with Carrera supporting her. Kufufufu, unlike you two who only barely think things through, I let mine go. Diablo countered as the two scowl on the insult directed at them. Liar. Trying to make excuses just cause you let yours escape. Yeah, you probably enjoyed playing again and let your guard down. As the 3 primordials kept bickering, Merlin and the demon child beside him were both looking at their master, the white primordial, thinking to themselves why she wasn't participating in the squabbles, especially since she also let her opponent escape. Stop! A heavy and clear utterance of the word made the 3 demons froze in place, slowly turning their faces to the origin of the voice was Rimuru. I'm not really in the mood for this, Querl, just keep the discussion going with no unnecessary comments. They all nodded their heads and silently returned to their seats, keeping quiet, with their bodies even shaking a little. They know that Rimuru is a lenient master, but he wasn't someone who won't kick anyone out. Sure, Agni and Runa were given a second chance, but it was a mix of circumstances like the great spirits, having a chance to gain more powerful subordinates, and setting an example to the others. With the demons clearly seeing this as an example, whether Rimuru planned this to be one is unknown to anyone but Rimuru himself. No one knows if they would be given a second chance if they fail, that is why they are scared that with his bad mood, they might have sealed their fate. Meanwhile, Testarossa turned to her subordinates with her eyes stating that's why, as if she knew her subordinates were questioning her lack of participation on the argument. Right, we believe that someone on their side has an ability similar to Rimuru-sama, that is the only explanation we could conclude with how they managed to even attack this place. Especially with jumping through universes, we even have witnesses of this happening for everyone. Lei listed down. Do you think it's really an ability? Lilith raised her hand. I mean, I can't make it, but what if it's technology or an artifact? She shrugs as she raises her hands. Just adding, can't leave any stones unturned. That's true, it is either a similar ability or an artifact that can jump through universes. Jahil pondered deep in thought. Though, I haven't seen or heard of such an artifact before, we can speculate for the most part that this is an ability. To which Lilith nodded her head. As we had already discussed how they managed to come here and attack us, we should think up some countermeasures. Rimuru started. The limitation of my ability was that if I didn't know the exact location, it'll take some time before I could find and create a gate to the universe. We can use this as reference for now since we don't have any basis, only that it may be something similar to my ability. Have you had any times where you can't enter a universe? Velgrind asked, as everyone looked at Rimuru waiting for his answer. Whether it be a yes or no, is both a terrifying thing, as, if there are no countermeasure, they must create one from scratch, and if there are ways to block Rimuru's connection to a universe, means that they can do it as well. Not that I know of, so far all the universes I want to go to can be accessed like this. Rimuru turned to the side and a gate the size of a normal door appeared, then it disappeared after a few seconds. But, it's not like I have been to all universes, also the keys that you use are a part of my ability, so if you can't use those, I probably won't either. Testarossa turned to look at Lilith who nodded her head. Chief, how about making a barrier? Murmurs were heard from almost everyone in the room. Do you mean a barrier the size of a universe? Lei asked turning to look at Lilith with confusion. You do realize that one is constantly expanding, right? Well yes, but it's not really about covering all the edges. Chief, when you look for a universe, how do you do it? Rimuru, who was suddenly asked a question, thought of an answer. It mostly involves feeling the universe you currently are and then follow the connections until you reach the exact one you are looking for, kind of like a web or branches. Why? Whenever you find the universe, do you feel the entire thing or just the fact that you are connected? Lei and Velgrind had their interest piqued by the question, and so do the rest of the sharp-minded ones in the room. No, not really. I just feel like, I am grabbing a wall that connects each universe. Rimuru catching on as well answered with more enthusiasm, now that you mention it, I wonder what the outside of the universe would be like. A void, will I be able to see each universes in like a spherical manifestation form? He thought to himself, starting to feel invested in the theory. If we go by this idea in mind, each universe has entrances or areas that are where they connect with each other. It is not necessarily the entire universe but a specific area, granted it may be more than just one as multiple universes can lead to multiple other universes, but it is still much better than covering an entire one. Lilith finally finished everything she wanted to say. Jahil turned to her, let's say that you were right, but what about it? There are still thousands of universes to cover, we don't exactly have an unlimited supply of magicules. We don't have to, as long as we can cover the important ones like Citadel and the main cardinal direction universes, then we can be safe from surprise attacks. Lilith countered, then she frowned. Though how to make something like that needs to be studied, maybe we can create a device for each universe or the area where the connection may occur. Well, the magicules required will be easy, I'll just use up the offered magicules of the followers of Silver Faith, not like I'm using the excessive amount of magicules flowing to me daily anyway. I mostly store them and allocate the rest to all my subordinates. Rimuru gestured as he pointed out the large amount of magicules he has, as even this very moment, magicules whether it be small or big amount from one follower is being passed to his body as offering of faith. And considering the fact that hundreds of universes are now under the Faith's banner, an unimaginable amount of magicules are in his body. Right, I thought that as well, anyway I already have someone who I can use as reference for the device. Lilith turned towards everyone in the room, browsing through each of their faces looking for the person of interest. That one, she pointed to the person standing slouching behind Ultima. Huh, the voice of Stilts who was barely listening on the meeting suddenly let out a confused groan as everyone in the room was looking at him. Ultima looked at him and then at Lilith. Lily-chan, what do you mean? He has those card things right. I am very intrigued by their mechanism and how they store concepts among other things and can be used for fighting. Like when S-chan reported that he managed to manipulate the emotion and have the tides of fate be in her favor. That device or artifact or whatever can be a useful reference to the barrier use. Stilts hugged his precious cards. My cards. Oh, don't worry, I won't break them. He. Lilith wiped the small drool attempting to leave her mouth. We still need someone who is proficient in manipulating holy magic. We can't exactly have Chief be the one to help me make them. Testarosa's opportunity finally arrived. She raised her hand, gaining everyone's attention. If I may. This here is Sachiel-chan. She helped me somewhat when I was fighting. She is very talented in manipulating holy magic. She pointed at the angel behind her, who was silently staring at the other angels in the room, stunned by their presence. She can already use holy magic? Lei asked as she analyzed the cherub angel. Does that mean she has become a part of the faith? Testarosa smiled at the question. Why yes, Fufu. After meeting her, I just had to introduce her to the faith of Rimuru-sama and become a useful follower. Eventually Sachiel realized all attention was on her and gave a small bow and agreed to give her full support. Good then, Rimuru was a little satisfied that at the very least, something was being done as a countermeasure. Whether it is useful will have to wait for another time. Does anyone have anything else to say? Jahil raised his hand. Rimuru raised a brow from his action. Just wanted to say, Apollyon is dead. He tried to attack me out of nowhere when I was checking on him and had to kill him. Everyone grew silent. Mitsriel was feeling the most conflicted and pain from the sudden announcement of her comrade's death. So did Ines. She was the one that was saved by him on the battle. Velgrind frowned at his words. Can't you elaborate some more? Most would assume that you went overboard. After all, from his words, Apollyon simply attacked Jahil. It could just be that he was agitated or still running on adrenaline or poison. Did Jahil have to kill him for it? Jahil sighed and rubbed the back of his neck. He wasn't Apollyon anymore. The venom had something like a soul-corrupting effect. Anyone who had the venom inserted in their veins and into their soul will change into a very different person. It's similar to the allies turned serpent effect. He not only tried to attack me, 2 snakes grew out of his shoulders and tried to bite me. I had to think quickly and cut both the snakes, but Apollyon was still not turning to normal. After realizing that nothing will work, I had to finish him off. Quote. Rimuru pinched the bridge of his nose. Well, if there is no other choice, I guess no one can blame you. Do you still have some of the venom? Jahil nodded. Good, try to see if antidotes or antibodies could be created against it. We can't be sure that Zaak is the only one with that ability. Understood. Anything else? Rimuru looked at the entire room, Complete silence, everyone is dismissed, continue your jobs and report all damages and necessary changes to me. Yes. ... Rimuru was sitting on his office room, alone, he was finishing up the paperwork for the day. I wish I had something to make this paperwork easier, I wonder if I can have Lilith make me something to organize all this paperwork. He mulled to himself as he leaned on the back of his chair. A knock was heard on his door. Rimuru-sama, may I come in? Diablo's voice was heard from the other side. Rimuru allowing, he entered the room and gave a bow before walking towards Rimuru. Due to the battle, it seems that a lot of these have showed themselves among all the deaths. Diablo showed a couple of soul fragments to Rimuru. The amount was neither small nor is it too big, simply rare to have this many in one time. Kufufufu, we managed to collect them before the fragment hunter stole them. Good work, Diablo. Rimuru took the fragments to his hand. He looked at Diablo. By the way, can you have the Arcanas come here one by one? I want to give them rewards for their work on the battle. Also have that child demon of Testarossa come as well. Understood, Rimuru-sama. Diablo left. Rimuru turned the chair and took a deep breath before absorbing the fragments. Here it comes. Blank. Rimuru-pov. Take care of them. I smiled as I looked towards Yuki. He should be able to take care of the children until they've grown up to stand on their own. I will, you can count on me. Yuki smiled back. We've already discussed on letting the children stay on the academy until they graduate and give them IDs from the Freedom Association if they want to. I finally let go of the hug, and went to Ranga, who was waiting near the entrance. Sensei. I turned and was hit by Chloe, who was hugging me. The others came closer as well. I patted her head. I'll miss them all. Geez, Chloe, you're such a crybaby. Kenya said as he cries as well. Sensei. Sensei. Chloe pushed her head deeper into my chest. This lasted for a few minutes. Until she finally lets go and the others said their goodbye with Yuki. Originally I wanted to get a bit more far away before using transportation magic. Since we are near the city, however, it took longer to say goodbye to the children. Ranga, let's go right here. I patted Ranga, who looked at me. Rimuru-sama, isn't it dangerous? He asked, probably the same concern that I had. That we could be seen by others on the way to Tempest. That's true, but we're a bit off schedule. Understood. Rimuru-sama. Ranga followed my order. I smiled and activated spatial motion. Blocking, attacking, dodging, parrying, all different actions were thrown at each other until Hinata managed to stab me again on the leg. I guess this is the end for me. Great Sage seems to be fighting as best as it can, but personally I don't see us winning this fight. I hope everyone could retreat safely to Urizania. Milam will probably go on a rampage after my death, and I couldn't keep my promise to Veldora. Sorry everyone. Hinata managed to remove my sword from my hand. As she prepares to swing down one finally strike at me, someone stood in front. Wait, a little girl with black hair. It was Chloe. Wait, Chloe. Chloe, why are you here? It's dangerous here. I shouted worriedly, trying to hide her behind me. How did she even get here? Didn't I have everyone evacuated? Then the rest of the children ran to the battlefield as well. What are you guys doing here? Sensei is not bad. Don't kill him. He saved us. The monsters here aren't bad either. We have been living here for months. Everyone is kind. Sensei, focus. A sword swipe arrived near my chest. I dodged by stepping backward a few meters away. Chloe sure has gotten stronger. I praised her as she was sparring with me. It has been years and the children never left Tempest. It seems they are still paranoid that something may happen to Tempest and wanted to stay to protect me. Chloe sure has grown. She should be. Actually, isn't she taller than me? Already. Not to mention Gale, he's like a tower. Man, I miss them being so little. What's with that face, Rimuru-san? Oh Yuki, just thinking how they have grown taller than me. Rimuru-san. Chloe sobbed as she held my clothes. I guess she is still clingy to me. I am going to fight in a war. It's like one of those scenes on movie where the man is going to war and dying. Wait, am I dying? Did I raise a death flag? Chloe, don't cry. I gently move her away from my body, looking at her and wiping the tears on her eyes. I took Shizu-san's mask and placed it on her head, sideways, just like how I place it when it is not covering my face. You can keep this, so don't cry. I won't die, I promise. I smiled to her, and she held back her tears and nodded her head only slightly. Rimuru-sama, it is time. Blank. Guess that's where that memory of war connects, and when I summon Diablo. Rimuru placed a hand to his face. Chloe, huh? I guess I owe her an apology if I ever see her in the future. Come to think of it, when I was revived I couldn't see her again. Or I just don't have the fragment containing it. Another knock on the door was heard. Rimuru-sama, I have brought them here. Rimuru turned his chair and placed both hands on the desk. Good, have them come one at a time. To be continued.